G'day guys and gal. Yes, another Custodes video. Don't you dare complain. The glorious banana boys are superior to all, and every drop of content about them is as golden as their armor. Each and every Custodes is a legend, but one stands above the rest. The Emperor's favourite son, who has also suffered arguably the most tragic fate in the entirety of Warhammer 40k, Ra Endymion. The man who held the webway against impossible odds, fought non-stop for weeks against demons, traitor Astartes and even titans. The man who almost slew the strongest demon in existence to defy fate itself. The legend who gladly sacrificed his soul and accepted hundreds of years of suffering and isolation purely to thwart the machinations of chaos. Needless to say, this man's story must be told, and today I'm here to tell it. Before we all cry together over what will be one of my most emotional videos to date, I have some good news and some bad news. The good news is that not one, but two new Majorkill minis have just launched and are available for sale right now. First is the Space Elf Jester, a powerful solo warrior who can tear apart any enemy with ease. Comes with a custom base and two arm variants in the one purchase. Size is proportionate to an Eldar Exarch, so it won't look out of place leading your Harlequin armies. The second model is Space Alexander the Great, available as both an Imperial Guard commander, or if you're feeling spicy, a living saint. The man comes with a Greco-Roman column to stand on so he can flex on the enemy, but that is optional. Both models are terrific in my biased opinion. Now here's the bad news. For reasons I can't say, all Majorkill minis will become unavailable for purchase exactly 1 week from now. I don't know exactly when they'll be available again, but it won't be for at least a month if not longer. So everything, including the two new minis, is very limited right now. As such, if you ever wanted to pick up one of these bad boys, then now is literally your last chance for a while. All prices are in Australian dollars, international shipping goes worldwide for the cheapest cost you'll probably ever see. Today we'll go over the legendary tale of Ra Endymion and his tragic fate. Most of this lore is from the book of Master of Mankind, however, as probably only like 1% of you have read it, this video is the next best thing. Let's get into it. The tale of Ra begins with the death of his mother and his own kidnapping and mutilation. Yeah, look, I did warn you that this was a sad tale. I also don't really know that many good dead mum jokes, so not really sure how to soften that one. Ra isn't Ra's real name or even original name. It was given to him by the Emperor as a sort of ironic joke. Like, the Emperor literally banned all gods and probably killed a couple in his own time, yet he named many of his Custodes after said dead gods. However, I'm getting ahead of myself. Why was Ra chosen to be a Custodes, and why was his mother killed? Well, it turns out the Emperor wasn't a super popular guy with a number of people, especially the ones he had conquered. Ra's mother was one such hater. She planned a coup in secret and sought to cast down the new Lord of Mankind. As a bit of a side note, she also stole the water from Earth's last remaining ocean, something she didn't see as a very big deal. The Emperor was like, fuck this bitch, and he sent his legendary general, the Lord of the Custodes, Constantine Valdor, to go kill her. He snuck past her entire army, which was kind of funny because he was in full golden battle plate, and he woke her up. He was then like, if you scream, I'll be forced to solo kill your entire army. So probably a good idea not to do that. They had a discussion where Valdor tells her that her plans for a coup were known and disregarded as such a small threat that no action was taken to stop her. However, her stealing the water was a big fucking no-no. See, the Emperor was a massive fan of water sports and regularly wakeboarded, however now that was forever taken from him. Valdor then told the woman that her son would be taken and if he was strong enough, would ascend to become a custodian. Ra's mother embraced death, confident her son would survive the process. Ra didn't just survive, he thrived. He was a legend amongst the Custodes, winning dozens of battle honors and ascending to the rank of tribune, making him one of the Emperor's closest companions and warriors. Something about Ra that the Emperor liked so much was just how human he was. Ra wasn't a bloodthirsty warrior, an arrogant scholar, or a charismatic leader. He was a pragmatic, loyal man who believed in the Emperor but struggled to comprehend the scale of his ambition, his motivations, or end goal. To put that into context, it's easy to imagine yourself as Ra when he speaks with the Emperor. Back into the tragedy. Ra was one of the commanding officers during mankind's expedition into the webway, a time of glory where the Emperor opened up parts of the webway for human use, the webway being his end goal of defeating chaos by removing mankind's reliance on the warp. This was all going great, until it fucking wasn't. See, Magnus the Red was a bit of a shithead, and in his misguided effort to warn the Emperor about the Horus Heresy, blew a massive hole in the webway, flooding it with demons. The Emperor was forced to sit on his golden throne and devote 99% of his focus on holding the webway together, whilst the Mechanicus, the Custodes, and Sisters of Silence fought a desperate losing war against the endless tides of hell. Meter by meter, the defenders of the webway were pushed back. One by one, the tribunes died, leaving Ra in command of the webway forces. Ra fought like a demon, becoming a literal golden blender as he cut through any and every enemy within 3 strikes. That was his system: 2 strikes to feel out the enemy and learn from them, the 3rd strike to end their life. He could have just struck them down with a single blow, but that was what set him above the rest: his willingness and ability to learn and adapt. In the few short breaks Ra had from making Kratos look like a bitch, the Emperor would speak to him psychically, showing Ra incredibly beautiful, realistic visions of the Emperor's own childhood in great detail. They also went over previous glories, and even traveled through the cosmos. The Emperor presented these experiences to Ra, partly to teach him lessons about why the Imperium exists, why the Emperor is so ruthless about conquering the galaxy, and why Horus isn't allowed to win. He also spoke to Ra of his foresight, and he let Ra question him. No other mortal in the entire universe, save maybe Malkador and Valdor, were allowed to be this close to the Emperor, allowed to know his dreams and ambitions in such personal detail. Ra even made the Emperor smile, which he considered to be one of the most horrifying, terrible sights he had ever seen in his life. Apparently it was really fucked with the uncanny valley effect. The second reason why the Emperor showed Ra all these wonderful things despite the effort it would have taken the extremely busy Big E is because he knew that Ra would have to endure a fate 1,000 times worse than death, a fate that the Emperor would bestow upon Ra directly. As such, he just straight up felt shit about it, and he wanted to give Ra a gift for no other as some form of compensation. See, there was this demon, a very, very powerful demon, that was stalking the webway, Drakion, the Ender of Empires. This monster was not bound by the will of any of the Chaos Gods, nor did it obey the conventional laws of demons. It was overpowered as fuck, able to slaughter Custodes and even Sisters of Silence with relative ease. It could possess nearly anyone: Titan pilots, dead Custodian corpses, even the Mechanicus' version of a Primarch. Ra sought to kill it, despite it being linked to the Emperor himself. The link was that Drakion would be the end of empires. The Emperor was the start of the greatest empire. As long as empires existed, so did their potential end, hence so did Drakion. Despite the demon's literal inscribed plot armor, Ra was a tenacious fucker, and he nearly killed Drakion, forcing the Giga Demon to retreat on more than one occasion. The Emperor actually wished with all his heart that Ra would kill it. He did not want Ra's fate to come true, even though he knew it was inevitable. He liked Ra so much that despite all his logic, reason, and foresight, he still wanted to believe that Ra could destroy this demon. Ra could not. Eventually, even the impossible city, the stronghold of the Imperial forces within the webway, began to fall. Ra began to pull his people out. The webway was lost. He had been fighting every second of every minute of every hour of every day for 10 days. It might have even been longer, I can't recall exactly. This isn't just smacking bitch-ass cultist heretics. This is slicing through hypercharged demons, traitor Astartes, and all the other nasty shit that comes along with it. As the survivors approached the exit of the webway to re-enter the safety of the Imperial dungeon, the demons launched their final attack. Not final because that's the last of their army. Final because there was no way the last survivors would be able to fend off this final wave. Despite no sleep, dozens of wounds, broken armor, and blunted weapons, Ra faced down the horde and he charges in. He fires his guardian spear until it's empty, throws it behind him for reloading whilst he draws dual swords and continues his carnage. Around him, his golden brothers die. The final Imperial Knights chant their glories as they fight till the end. It's fucking glorious. Then Drakion approaches, inhabiting the body of the Archimandrite, the Mechanicus' version of a Primarch. With the power of Drakion within the mighty body, the Archimandrite begins smashing the last of the defenders, kills an Imperial Knight, and yeah, it's a bit of an all-round problem. However, a Blood Angel's hero is like, "Fuck you, bitch," and he jump packs onto its chassis and drops a bomb on its ass. A bit more teamwork and the Archimandrite is beaten, but Drakion is not. The demon comes forward and Ra sees his doom, but then the sun rises. The Emperor has come and he brings the absolute annihilation of chaos. His radiant presence is enough to instantly banish thousands of demons. He charges at them, flaming sword in hand. He tears open a rift gate and from it, thousands of burning Astartes, the betrayed corpses of Istvan, led by Ferris the fucking Manus himself, charge in as well. They smash into the demon horde, burning and destroying. The sodomy chaos received that day forever left a burning bruise on their asshole. Drakion and the Emperor charge at each other, and the Emperor is impaled, being lifted off his feet as Drakion roars triumphantly. The Emperor says, "Not today, bitch," and he begins crushing Drakion, changing its demonic form into a blade. The Emperor just kind of shrugs off the impalement as he is a perpetual and perpetuals find fatal wounds funny. Demonic sword in hand, the Emperor turns to Ra and he stabs him with Drakion. The sword painfully absorbs into Ra's body before the Emperor gives Ra the last command he will ever get. "Run, Ra." And Ra runs, deep into the webway so that Drakion will be lost to the forces of chaos, so that the ender of empires will be lost to the enemy for as long as possible. This was the fate of Ra, a lonely jailer for a demon within him, a demon that wanted to get out, to run in a nightmarish alien realm until he dies or loses the battle of will against Drakion. Ra's final fate isn't entirely known yet, but we know it wasn't a pleasant one. Abaddon was able to recover Drakion during the First Black Crusade, and it said he got it off a giant golden warrior, that obviously being Ra. So either Drakion enslaved Ra's mind and turned him into a guide for Abaddon, or Ra removed Drakion from his body and guarded it, finally dying to Abaddon who took it, or Abaddon killed Ra and took it from his body. Apparently we will find out in the third Black Legion book, which comes out reasonably soon. Regardless, Ra was orphaned at 4, put through the most grueling trial in the galaxy to become a living weapon, became the sole commander of the Webway forces as he watched his brothers die around him, failed to hold the Webway or save mankind's dream, was impaled by the demon he had fought against by the man who he saw as his father, before being forced to endure the demonic influence for hundreds of years, alone, before finally getting taken out by Abaddon, failing his duty to keep Drakion out of enemy hands. He was given impossible task after impossible task, doing his absolute best but failing each and every time. Rest well, Ra Endymion. You've earned it, my friend. If you enjoyed the video and you want something to help with those tiers, then Patreon is the place to be. Only $1 per month give you access to a boatload of titty pics, including Custodes. Hit the subscribe button and hit the real subscribe button for more tragic content. Join the Discord for more memes and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.